Oh, and who are we watching?
We are watching Maddie and a little bit of the other guys too, because they're on a team together, but mostly Maddie.
Oh, Maddie the Lucio. Got it.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
One. Round one. Capture the objective.
Oh, what's the SR range? Like, what elo is this?
This is, I think, a gold team.
Okay.
I think there's like one silver, but for the most part, they're gold. And Maddie is like 2,300.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna watch the first fight here.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Cool. So that's...
One.
Where are we getting here?
Ready for battle.
Alright, you have speed out of spawn. Totally fine on control points. And you guys decided to come out this way. So this is just sort of like a team thing. Generally speaking, the best way to take this point usually is to come out this side actually and take control of this bridge first. And whoever
that makes sense.
Yeah, because like you have cover and sightlines on the point. You don't want to go point until you've won the fight, and usually the fight happens here. But y'all are going together this way, and like this is still fine.
Okay.
Okay. So you already have amp back, so once you see that hook and like your team's going forward, like to confirm this kill on the Zarya, you need to hit amp and amp your speed, and then all this so you swap to heal song as your team's trying to chase. Now would be fine to be on heal because they're just sort of stabilizing here. But then when your Ryan is chasing this Mei, you're on heal song the whole time while everyone is full.
Right, he should have been on.
Yeah.
He should have been on speed when you're chasing someone.
This is like super important for the Ryan Lucio synergy, like specifically, and also especially with the Mei. If the Mei gets a good wall or freeze on somebody, you amp speed into them. If the Ryan is trying to push somebody, you amp speed so the Ryan can close the distance faster. You are the rush part of the rush comp, and while you should also be healing, your healing is kind of nothing to your speed. You speed first, heal second.
He's also way in the back line right now, I think, he's not with his Reinhardt.
Yeah. The way you're positioning right now would actually be really great for Brig, but for Lucio, you kind of want to be up on walls as much as you can. If that's a little bit difficult for your mechanics right now, that's fine. Like, I would practice so you can be comfortable just living up on walls and basically never touching the ground. Because you're harder to hit and people are less likely to look at you when you're up above them and the rest of the team isn't.
Right.
But if that's a little hard right now, it's fine. Just, you don't have to be in the middle of your team as Lucio. You just have to have the important people in your aura. So I'm not saying this is where you would be in this moment, but just as an example, if you were right here, all three of these people would still be in your aura. You don't have to be like on top of them. That means that you can still take like safe angles that are still kind of a distance and shoot things from a distance and be safe. So like angles. This is kind of a bad example in this moment. But yeah, just being on the ground behind your team, you can't really do anything versus just being like a little bit to the side and spamming people behind shields is actually a lot of pressure and it makes it really hard for the other team. And you can be doing two things at once since you just sort of have a passive aura doing half your job for you. Cool. So yeah, like that amp heals there. If you had amp speed, it would have made sense. Your team was backing up. You're going for the boop. But also with these boops, put a little bit more thought into your boops. Like, I know you were trying to boop the Mei off the edge, and that would have been great. But earlier, like your Rhine swinging on somebody and you boop them away from your Rhine,
Okay.
the much bigger play would be, I mean, your Rhine's about to die right now, but like prior to this moment anyway, like you could like ride up here, say, get behind somebody and boop them into your Rhine so your Rhine can swing on them and kill them before they can
Oh,
get back to their team.
that's a good point.
So looking for those plays is huge. They're usually easier to get off, not at the very beginning, but more like once the fight has started, because people are going to look at you less, and then you get behind somebody, boop them into your Rhine, and you can, like, completely wreck an enemy team with your boop if you do it right and time it right. But at the very least, like, if your hog lands a hook, don't boop them. If Rhine's swinging on somebody, don't boop them away. And you'll be good. Going for the environmentals, though, is huge. You should absolutely go for that if you think you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Just a free kill. So there with the Mei freeze, you didn't have amp. I still would have gone to speed to try to get out because the freeze slows you down. If you do have amp, Lucio can completely counter Blizzard with amp. You can be standing still in the very middle of the blizzard, amp speed, and walk out before it freezes you.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I'll have to point that out to him.
Yeah. So, as Lucio, you are the main support of the team, not main healer, main support. There's a very important difference. So, again, this is like a whole lot. So, take the pieces, like one piece at a time. You don't have to do all of this all at once. But one thing that is your job is tracking ultimates. So, the ultimates on their team that you would want to be watching out for in particular. You don't have to track all 6. Just pick out the ones that are important. So, if you know they have Blizzard, you should save Amp to get people out of Blizzard. If you know they have Nanoblade, you want to make sure you have Beat before they Nanoblade, because you can counter that massive ult combo with just your Beat.
Right.
Especially if you
Which
amp
ult-
speed after.
Which ults does Beat usually cancel? Like, I assume you wouldn't want to save it for something like Shatter, but like maybe a Grav.
So you can use it for Shatter and Grav. The thing with Beat is it's all about timing. So with Grav, like a popular combo, not in this case, but like Grav Dragon, you can't just beat immediately because the shields decay very quickly. When you're in a Grav, you kind of have to wait until some of the damage starts coming in, and then beat before people die to it, and make sure your beat goes off before people die. And then it'll last long enough for the Grav to end, and people can get away before your beat wears off. If you beat at the very beginning of the Grav, your beat will be gone before people can really get away from wherever they were graved. That's assuming there's damage coming in. But anyway, I will say, like, there's some people would, like, for example, if that Rhine gets a massive shatter, you beat and save your team, and then right after they Nanoblade and kill everyone, and you get flamed because you didn't save your beat for Nanoblade. Nah. Beat is there to save your team, to save a team fight. Worry about the fight in front of you, and then worry about the next fight after. If you will lose the fight to the shatter, and beat will save the fight, then you beat. And then if they Nanoblade after, then you got 3 ultimates for your 1. It's worth. Anyway, that's like a whole lot.
No, that makes sense.
Good jukes on the Genji. I like it.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So here, you're just kind of in open space on the point a lot. There you go. As just a general positioning tip on, like, any hero, any role, it's really good to hug corners and walls. And it's especially important for Lucio, because then you can you move faster on walls. So if you're next to a wall, you can escape anything very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question just for like general play that actually doesn't have to do with like his VOD review, but I feel like a lot of the time when I get like walled off by Mei, there's just zero coming back for it. If you do end up getting walled off by Mei, what is the best thing that you should do?
So, you someone on your team, doesn't matter who, somebody yells which pillar you're focusing. Focus middle, focus left, whatever. And then
Okay.
everyone shoots that pillar. They only have 400 HP. If everyone shoots it rather than going, oh no, there's a wall in front of us, it just sort of evaporates. You can actually break it very quickly.
Okay.
And yeah, and if you're Lucio in particular, if you can wall climb up the wall to be on top of it, then you get Rhine in your aura, and then you can heal him or speed him away if he has an escape route, etc.
Okay.
But yeah, but the very first thing is somebody yells break middle or break left or whatever, and you just shoot it. In most elos, it's pretty easy to save your Rhine if you can just get everyone to shoot it. It's only like really high elos that the other team has the focus fire to like burst down a Rhine in 1 second.
Yeah. That was happening during our scrim yesterday. We absolutely rolled during the scrim, but we would have done even better if I hadn't gotten walled off like 5 times. Because we kept having discrepancies as to like when we were pushing in, and so I kept getting walled off, and then died every single time we managed to do that. Sorry about my bird harassing me.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so what about that? First off, you amped heals while everyone was full health, and while they wanted to move, so that should have been a speed amp. But more important, I think, because we've already talked about that a bit, is this beat here, which... So, beat is about absorbing a shit ton of damage, right? It is okay to aggro beat. Aggro beat is a great play sometimes. Then it allows your team to just hard int for a couple of seconds and kill things. Totally fine. But comboing it with shatter is not the play because they're all on the ground. So, like, what damage are you protecting your team from? I mean, you don't have it on this team, but if it had been like a grab, for example, and you beat on your grab, that could actually be huge because then your team can just run into the grab and kill everyone caught in it without having to worry about getting killed first. So, like, if you want to aggro beat, you really gotta time it for when you're gonna be actually absorbing a lot of damage for your team or allowing them to do something they wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
Are they capping right now?
Looks like, yeah. The Genji is on point. So that's actually fine. You don't have a diva. If you had a diva, the diva should be contesting this point because she has mobility to like get back off and also is a tank so she can live here. Hog could come contest it and that would also be fine. But for the most part, this point is a death trap. You don't ever want to fight on the point if you don't have to. So, like, much better to win this fight right here, even if it means the flip, and then you guys turn around and you kill the one Genji and flip it right back. If you all turn around right now and go on the Genji dashes away, but you guys just gave up on this fight, turned your back on it, and probably died in the process. To do that, and
so
we'll just dash away.
Okay, because I think a common issue that I see is like people yelling C9 and then every single person running to the point and leaving their fight, giving the enemy team space, and then losing. That's often why we end up losing this point.
Yeah. Sorry, can you say that one more time? I got distracted by beeping sounds.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. You're good. A lot of the time, I don't know if it happened in this game because I've only seen this game like once, but I noticed that on this point, someone will yell out like C9, and I don't know if that's even an attempt at a C9 or an attempt at a distraction, but we end up leaving the fight and then end up losing the point because none of us were fighting and we gave up space.
So, a C9 is when you lose the map after winning the fight. because you forgot about the objective. If it were 99%, then maybe, yeah, you want to hold it and not let it flip if you can. But even then, like, you can still touch, get OT, whatever. It is not yet a C9. 13%, if they flip it, you win this fight and then turn around, what, they're at 30% instead? You still win the game, you're at 90.
No, yeah. No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying that
yeah.
a lot of the time people will like freak out because somebody's gonna cap for a couple seconds, and then we end up losing the fight because of it.
Yeah, one of the most common problems I see, like, plat and below and even diamond, is caring too much about the objective or the cart or wherever, and less about taking the most important ground to have the easiest fight possible. So, like, one of my favorite examples, Hollywood, like the second point, so many teams fight on the cart surrounded by these high grounds rather than taking the high grounds, winning the fight, and then pushing the cart for free. Which, if you ever watch high elo teams, nobody's on the cart. It's a 6v6 fight on the high ground because they know it's so important that just everyone goes up there to duke it out, because whoever wins the high ground is going to win regardless.
Okay.
That is something. As a gold team, if you guys want to start with no other changes whatsoever, you want to start rolling plat teams, take the high ground. All 6 of you, every time, no matter what. Even Reinhardt, even Hog. All of you take the high ground. Ryan, you might be worried that you can't swing on things, but it doesn't matter because your Kree and your Mei and your Ana and your Hog and your Lucio can all be spamming and shooting things, and if they come for you, then you get to swing. So if they don't, you don't get to swing, it means that the rest of your team is free to do whatever the hell they want. It's so great.
Okay.
You actually get a lot just by bodyguarding the backline sometimes. That said, like, eventually you do drop, or at least Ryan would eventually drop, and maybe Hog and Mei. But if you guys start out on the high ground every fight and you don't drop until you're up 1 or 2 people, you'll be rolling plat teams. Like, no other changes, not even watching you guys play. Like, nobody takes the high grounds, and they're so powerful. Hollywood is so awesome to watch, so many options. It's one of my favorite maps to, like, teach people things on, because there's, like, different parts of the map are so different from each other. I actually really like that map. I think it's one of the better ones in the game. Okay. So, you don't quite get the rollout.
Score
Doesn't matter, you guys win that point.
1-0.
I would recommend... So, like,
Ready for battle.
people put too much importance on Lucio's wall riding, really. It can do a lot for you and give you a lot of options, but kind of everything else is more important. But if you want to work on your Lucio mechanics while you're in queue in games, or like before you start playing or whatever, play Lucio Surf.
Oh, okay.
And that'll like really help you with your wall riding mechanics in like a concentrated way. Like, it's kind of funny that everything else about Lucio, I think, is easier than his wall riding, but also everything else about him is more important than his wall riding, so I wouldn't focus too much energy on that, but like, it's a nice thing to do in queues or whatever.
Anna, have you seen my schedule?
Okay. Actually, you know what? For your team and the comp that you're running, I'm just going to give you guys like a breakdown of what your job is, because like right now you guys are just like a 6-stack death ball. You run into them and you kill them, which is kind of fine actually, but like you can do it even better. So Ana, in this comp, because you don't have a Zarya, you have a Hog instead, your job is to keep this man alive. Your Reinhardt is VIP. You don't have to really DPS the enemy team very much so long as you're keeping him up. but you should anti-nade. If at all possible, don't nade your team. Like, if you can keep them up without the nade, then denying healing to the enemy team is a huge carry play that you can make like every 12 seconds. So look for that all the time. Rein, you are not a shield bot anymore. You are a scary German man with a massive hammer. You need to W and swing, be aggro as shit. Trust your Ana to hard pocket you, because your Ana is going to be hard pocketing you. Bree, your job is to bodyguard your Ana. If anyone tries to dive her, come for her, whatever, you are literally sitting on top of her, you flash fan them. She's free to do whatever she wants, because nobody can come get her, because you are on top of her. And while no one is attacking her, you just poke people from range. Just do as much damage as you can from wherever you are. But, like, she's your focus. Lucio, you are going to look to speed your your Rein in, especially when the Mei gets a freeze. You're also going to look to speed your Hog on flanks when your Rein doesn't need to move. And you can also peel for your Ana, and you can speed High Noon. So, like, when Kree has his ult, you should speed amp him so he can actually move while doing it. Lucio has the most complex job in this entire game. IMO, maybe D.Va is a little bit harder, but like your job is to support every other member of the team, and help them however they need help. 4 people on your team are slow. You can speed them places if they want to go somewhere. Ana can get dove. You can boot people away. You can heal her up. Whatever. So like that's your job, is keeping an eye on the other 5 and doing whatever you can to keep them alive. And otherwise, you speed your Rein so he can go aggro and swing. Hog, as the off tank, your job is to hold an off angle. You actually don't want to be with your Rein, the Rein Mei. You want to be holding... You don't have to, like, hard flank. You don't have to be, like, fully behind the team. Here, let me... Whoop. Blank slate here. Whatever. So if you got Rein, Mei, Lucio, maybe Ana's back here with Kree, you might hold here. The enemy team's, all over here. You're just shooting, and you're a big scary Roadhog. Like, you have self-heal, you have hook. It's hard for them to come and deal with you. So they have an option. They can go for your core, in which case you're free to just shoot them in the back, and you do meaningful damage. You can land hooks, etc. Or they come for you, and then Lucio speed boosts the Rein and Mei in behind them and kills them from behind anyway. It just leaves them in this terrible, untenable position that's very hard to deal with, that you can create all on your own. It's why off-tank is really good in ranked for carrying. Your team doesn't have to coordinate with you. You coordinate with them. Wherever they hold, fine. You go take an off angle or a high ground or something. Lucio, ideally, you're keeping an eye on your Hog, because if this team is smart, and if they have like a Lucio, they will as 6 speed onto your Hog, kill your Hog, and then take a 5v6 and win. And that's how you beat this. But if you're paying attention, you can wall ride to your Hog and speed amp him into your team or away or wherever. So you can save the day on their one real play to win this fight easily. So
There's a lot of rhyming. No, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. This game gets so complicated. I love it.
It's like chess.
Right? Right? It really is. And then finally, Mei. You kind of have the easiest job. Easiest on paper. Like, you are going to look to wall somebody off. It almost doesn't matter who. It's usually like the Reinhardt just because they're in front of the team. But it's whoever comes out first, you wall them off. If you can get 1 or 2 people split from the rest of the team, your Lucio amp speed, they die. Otherwise, you are stacked more or less on top of Reinhardt, right behind him, freezing anyone he swings on. So your freeze slows them down. So, like, as Lucio is speeding Rhine in, you are slowing them down. They can't get away from the scary hammer that is bashing them to bits. So that's your job. You hang out with Rhine and slow down the targets he's swinging on. If you get a freeze, great. Hit the headshot. Yeah. That's kind of your jobs in a nutshell for like the heroes that you're playing right now.
Okay, I wrote all of that down. That should be very helpful.
And Snoozer in chat says, or just play Flankerisa, clearly the superior option. We were playing Flankerisa in ranked last night, and it was depressing how well it was working.
Oh, jeez.
It was really fun, though. Anyway.
Oh, I should point out that every single person on this team right now is actually on their team, so any tips you have for anybody will be helpful, because I'm just giving it to the team rather than just Maddie.
Okay, cool, yeah. I am into that. And also, like, if any of them ever want to submit VODs or whatever, I am into that. I need the content still. But,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, I also just straight up love coaching teams. I'm coaching a plat team right now that is doing really well.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
Well, we could use coach wherever available.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We are kind of struggling. Not this team. This is Terran.
The
These guys
highest
are gold.
SR I can
They're doing really
comfortably
well, though.
coach,
They've been climbing a lot recently.
4,200. I can certainly be a second
So
pair
is
of
this
eyes
hanging out in the
above
back,
4,200,
like, good?
but
I'm curious for my
at that
play.
point they probably know more
Usually
than
I
I
think of
do, so
Lucio
it's
as
just
kinda, like,
me
in the middle
noticing
of
things they
everything.
missed maybe. But 4,200 I feel like I can help out. Anything below that. Okay. So yeah, you're just frontlining a little bit too much, but you back out, that's good. And now you're playing a corner and off angle. And actually that's... So this is something really strong that you can do, Lucio. In much the same way that like Hog would hold an off angle, you were just like right here a second ago, playing around this corner. So you're super safe. If they happen to shoot you, you can just go whoop. They can't get you. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And from here, you just have this great spam angle where you just shoot them. I'm gonna just keep spamming them from here. Your team is still in your aura, so you're still helping them, and you're putting in damage that just like contributes and helps out. Even if you're just hitting this Rhine's shield, Lucio actually does a reasonable amount of shield break, and the sooner that shield breaks, that helps your entire team. So like sitting here, you're doing two jobs at once. You're pressuring an off angle, breaking shields, and you're like buffing your team because they're still in your aura while you're doing it. So like Lucio's the multitasker. You want to kind of always be doing that. Like even better in this specific layout relative to the rest of your team. I would actually hold this off angle because then you're also right next to your Ana. Might be a little bit hard because of this wall, but like, yeah, if you're like pressuring here, then you can come back to your team, protect your Ana. From here though, you can still see your Ana and you can still come and save her, so that's still good. But like, Lucio positioning.
So Lucio's job is kind of just to enable everybody else to do their jobs?
Exactly. Main support. You support your team. And because you have like just an AoE that you can AFK and it'll do its thing, you can be doing other jobs at the same time, which is part of why Lucio is so strong. So like, this is like Lucio 102, and I think you're still on Lucio 101, but it is totally legit when you feel like your mechanics can handle it. When you amp speed to speed your Rhine in, so like right now, you would amp speed, everyone W's in, and then you could split off because your Rhine has already sped in, and go red at the backline. Or go for a pick or something, like go pressure this Kree. Like, Kree can flash you, but so long as you stay out of flash range or you bait his flash out, you can take that 1v1 for sure.
It also kind of just boop him off the map.
Or also just boop him off the map. Yeah, like, you have a variety of options, but that is Lucio's time to make plays, is after you have sped your tanks in, because then your tanks are where they need to be, and also the enemy team's all watching them because you're your tanks are big, scary dudes in their face wrecking them, so they're not looking at you as you go off to the side and Reddit the Kree or whatever.
Right.
So that's when you can make plays as Lucio. Um, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's fine. You could still be multitasking by pressuring off angles, bodyguarding, and peeling, etc. Okay. Oh, congratulations, Shrublords. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, and I got some requests coming in. Sorry, just reading chat. Let's go.
You're good.
Okay.
I'm just calling out Lucifer for double teaming on us.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like one of the scariest ones for Lucio. It really is. When you... When you see this, they're low, they're like in huge danger. What do? You don't have amp, which is unfortunate, but like, so since you don't have amp, like this May's dead. You can't really do anything as Lucio other than boop the Reinhardt back and hopefully create
speed?
enough distance and then speed. So like that's
Okay.
you cannot out heal him. Even with amp, you cannot out heal a Reinhardt. He swings for 85, amp heals for like 52 a second. It is almost never the play to try to heal somebody who is actively taking damage. I know you're a healer, that's what you want to do, it's fucking scary, but what you do is you go in, you boop, and you speed. You maybe even body block a little bit. You don't want to die for your teammate, but like, maybe you do. Your May's probably screwed right now looking at this, but like, that's your only option. Boop back, speed her out, and hope that she can get to cover in time.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Look at the Ana.
Yeah. She
on the
looks
left
a little
side.
bit like a rock star.
She's kind of great. No, honestly, I think that makes sense because when you see like I don't know what was going through his mind obviously, but like whenever I play support, when you see critical, you say, "Oh, time to heal," you know? And so it's really tough to be like time to speed and boop, you know? It's not exactly a first instinct.
And like in ranked, you'll get flamed for it, which is the worst thing. Like Lucio's heals are kind of pathetic. They're only strong because they're AoE, but they don't burst somebody up. They don't save somebody. So like you have a better chance saving a teammate saying I'm speeding you back and like tell them I'm speeding you back, so they know to run away. That's how you save people. You can't out heal a Moira right clicking that like your May. You can't out heal anything. You heal them up after. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough in a situation like this because you can't really tell the May to speed back. So he's kind of just got to pray that she's gonna listen to the speed thing.
Yeah,
so
true. Yeah. I don't know, it's the worst. I hate getting flamed for speeding rather than healing when, like, bro, that's your only chance of survival right now. Anyway. You do boop them back a little bit too late. To be fair, I don't know that you could have safely gone in any closer than that anyway. There was no saving the May there.
Yeah.
And now you got beat. You're playing around this pillar, which is nice.
He's just having fun. He's just zooming around the corner. It's funny.
So... Yeah, so like...
I feel like he kind of amps on cooldown.
Yeah, and it's a 12-second cooldown, and it's basically... The only time Lucio is strong is that 3 seconds that amp is going off. The rest of the time, you're just kind of vibing, trying to do the most that you can. Oh, unfortunate. That would have been a great beat.
No, okay, one thing I'd like to say is he gets so frustrated due to McCree's ult because unless you have subtitles on, there's literally no way of telling that it's happening. So he dies to McCree a lot in this game, I think.
Oh no.
That's a common occurrence.
Okay. I actually have some stuff that I think might help with that. So let's go. Actually, I'm gonna let it play a little bit more just because I need the beeping to stop. There we go. Yay. Anyway. So For very different reasons, I have to do this too. I'm ADHD as hell. I just can't track everything that's going on all at once. My brain just won't. Uh, so I position in ways or places where I can see all 11 other people if I can. Uh, Lucio, you would do it a little bit differently than, say, like Anna, who would like position back. Lucio, you can't really position as far back, but you can always be moving and riding around and looking everywhere.
Okay, all right.
Because of your high mobility, um, and again, because like the primary part of your kit, you kind of just AFK, they're just in your aura, and you can be doing other things. One of your jobs is scout. You're looking around everywhere for that like flanking Reaper or Kree or whatever that's trying to sneak up on your team. You catch them out early because you see them early. Um, yeah. And like it's also just a good way to make sure that you're getting to places when you need to be and helping people out is to just always be moving between them. You don't want to like cross open space too much. Like you still have to be doing this safely, obviously, but like move around a lot and look around as much as you can. Like
Okay,
right,
and that's gonna come with a lot of wall riding practice too, I'm assuming.
yeah, that helps a lot. That makes it way easier because you can just be even on passive speed, because the speed stacks as you jump from like thing to thing. If you skim it right, you can be moving around so fast. You can be everywhere on this map. Like, uh, imagining that you hadn't died to that beat right there. Like, if I saw this on Lucio, I go, oh crap, that Ana, I'm gonna get her. Boom, kill her.
Yeah, easy kill.
Easy kill. Um, and you see stuff like that person that's out of position that you can go get because you're just looking everywhere all of the time. This is also important for Mercy if you ever play Mercy. Once your beam's attached, you're looking around everywhere. You're scouting. Information for your team, or at least for yourself, so you can save your team. Is this a scrim? Somebody's asking. I know you guys are
It
six
is a
stack.
scrim.
It is a scrim.
It's
Okay.
it's a scrim against a college team. I think they were like 100 SR above on average, so it was pretty close.
Okay. Oh, and then for that beat that you died to. So I don't think it would have made a difference in this instance because like there was just no way for you to know where the McCree was. But
Mhm.
uh, as a good guideline, you want to beat somewhere that you think is safe, and then enter the LOS of your team. Beat. It takes about like almost a second to land, but then once it lands and you get the green waves coming out, uh, it lasts for about a half of a second cast time. So if you enter somebody's LOS or they enter yours within about a half a second after the beat drops, they get beat.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is you the the typical play, you amp speed as you're dropping the beat and moving forward, and you hit like this corner, and your momentum carries you around into your team, and they all get the beat, and then they all get speed because you're already on speed amping, so they're moving with beat, which is what you want. Because like for a
Mhm.
couple seconds they're more or less immortal. Let's make sure they can move fast and do something with it. Yeah, so like look to drop beat around corners and enter the LOS like that. You can also get beat through like shields or bubbles that way. So like if somebody's bubbled by Monkey, you beat one side of the bubble while your momentum carries you through to the other, and you get everyone inside and outside of the bubble. Because otherwise, bubble will block it.
Right. How did he die to that? Was he jumping or did he get booped?
I don't think either. I think he just dropped the beat at what was otherwise a great time.
Just
And
got
just
unlucky, I guess.
yeah, I think. Yep.
He did jump. No, he definitely jumped.
Did he? Or like I know it jumps you up when you hit it.
Hear that?
Oh,
Oh,
yep.
does
No.
it?
Yeah,
No,
you did
jump.
jump.
He would have been below that shield, 100%. Note, note,
Oh,
note
buddy,
in
that's
beat.
what happened. Yep,
Don't jump into beat.
like inches. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. You would have been fine.
Mhm. Uh, and like your team wins this anyway, but like that beat would have been massive because like
Got dunked in the head. Sucks.
yeah, like you got a slept and antied hog who can get very easily killed, a nanoed Rhine who can like wreck your team. You ended up not needing the beat, but I think this would have been good if that hadn't happened.
I
So
think it's just more
another
fun or something.
another fun bit for Lucio is beat from a low ground onto like a high ground. So like if you beat onto these stairs from down here, the beat goes off sooner because it goes off whenever you touch the ground. So if you're touching,
Oh.
it pops you up, but then you just touch the ground basically instantly. So beating
That
onto the
makes
cart, beating onto stairs, stuff like that is really good. This is super edge case niche, but I like to do it sometimes when I'm feeling gutsy. There is a case for the like off the top rope skybox beat, which is the enemy team sometimes thinks that the beat has dropped and then has worn off well before it has because
Their
the beat
cooldowns,
took
yeah.
2 or 3 seconds to actually land. It's really risky because you have to like know that your team is going to live for all of that time and still need the beat after. So like it's very edge case niche, but like that's the case for it.
Well, it's just kind of like an interesting scenario to think about, you know, widening your horizons as to what you could do. Think outside of the box during the game.
I've done that to outplay Junkrat tires before. It's really
Oh.
ballsy because like if the Junkrat sees you dropping the beat, then they just kill you midair and you lose beat with the tires. So like it's risky, but then you can get them to detonate it before beat's actually worn off and actually still save your team with it.
Right.
Okay. And then yeah, they throw out a bunch of ults. You guys threw out a bunch of ults too. It really wasn't too bad. 5-4, and you guys won the fight. Ult economy wise,
Nothing's gonna stop.
you want to be calling your ults before a fight. All of you. Like calling what the plan is. And you want to try to, as much as possible, only use 2 ults if you can, and maybe have like a third for follow-up if you think it's needed. So maybe the play is nano shatter. So you would wait until you have nano, then you nano the Rhine, he shatters, kills everything.
Right.
Or nano whole hog is actually pretty good, or nano Kree even. Look to combo 2 things. You could even combo your DPS ults. May freeze high noon. When that Rhine is frozen, he no longer has a shield. These people can't move, they can't be shielded. That can be a huge combo. So like think about those things and look to combo your ults to guarantee a fight win. And then you go. Once you have the ults, you hit your 2 ults and you kill them.
Okay. I wanted your opinion on something really fast. Has to do with like comboing people, I guess. So we were playing a scrim yesterday, obviously a different team, but we were debating whether or not it was wrong to have 2 hit scans and a Zarya Rhine comp because there wouldn't be much of a combo with the Zarya, even though they had like flying heroes. I was of the opinion that as long as we were getting value off of the hit scans and the grabs we were following up on, it was fine. But there are some people who thought that we really needed that combo. What is your thoughts on that?
I think you do not. I think that combo is very strong and very good, but it is not necessary. No.
Okay.
The way all of your playstyles would have to change though for having like a basically rush tanks with double barrier DPS is sort of what you want with double hit scan.
Right.
It means that
Well, it was like a Rhine Zarya Ashe Kree Mercy Ana, I think.
okay. So yeah, the combo with Grav would be Zarya wouldn't want to Grav until Uh, she was high energy and had both bubbles, and then she grabs, hits both bubbles, and Ryan and Zarya can both walk into the grab for free and kill everything. That's your combo right there. She just has to, like, your tanks have to be very patient. It's not a hard W comp anymore. Uh, and Ryan is playing slow and back, and just like your tanks are trying to kite and buy time and keep the enemy back away from your hit scan for as long as possible, so your hit scan can just do work and get picks or whatever. And then like once you have to, like you've softened them up a bit, and then Ryan can start swinging into an enemy that probably doesn't have the resources to deal with him anymore, with an Ana to hard pocket him, Mercy damage boosting and pocketing the DPS. And then the DPS, this vitally important that you take angles to your Rhine to take pressure off of your Rhine Zarya, because if you had one person here and one person here, well, now you have 3 angles. When they walk in onto your Rhine Hog or Rhine Zarya, whatever, they're getting shot from 3 different ways. Which way do they look? Who do they block? Who do they shield? Like, they can't deal with it. So you're splitting attention away from the Rhine, which means there aren't 6 people shooting your tanks in the face. So DPS, you have to make people turn and look at you without killing you, or you have to kill them. One or the other. Either one is fine. If you're missing the shots, it almost doesn't matter if enough people turn and look at you. But if they aren't turning to look at you and you aren't killing them, then it doesn't matter how many body shots you're landing or whatever. Like, you're not taking the pressure off of your Rhine, which is what your job is. Yeah, and that's kind of how you would play that. You could also like nano Rhine for the grab, or Ana would be looking to land a nade into the grab to follow up on it. Yeah, and double hit scan right now is just, it's very strong because hit scan are strong. Double barrier tanks would probably be better than Rhine Zarya, but you can still do it with Rhine Zarya. DPS take angles, tanks play slow and patient. Oh, so like that right there, you speed your Ana back and then you heal her. It's kind of amazing she didn't die to the Hog, but like, you had amp, you can absolutely save her there. Whoop. So we talked about tracking ults, and then like, your beat was fine. So like, I don't think it's bad that you don't have beat for the Nano Blade. Actually, it looks like it's a dry blade. Nano went to somebody else. But anyway, you still have a carry play as Lucio. Which is, so like right now, he's on you, your Hog, and your Ana. Assuming that you had caught this in time and lived it, you boop him back, and you amp speed, you and your Ana and your Hog run away. He doesn't get the dash reset from getting a kill, so he can't actually get to anyone, and he can't outrun speed amp. So now, you have wasted this entire Nano Blade. He gets nothing for 2 ultimates, and all you used was a cooldown in your boot. Like, it's hard. It's incredibly difficult. I'm not saying you're gonna, like, get this off reliably every time a Genji Nano Blades, but that is the carry play that you can go for.
Okay.
If you don't have beat for it. The other thing that you should be looking to do, both Lucio and as a team, is building your support ults for your support. So, like, if you're worried about the upcoming Nano Blade and your Lucio doesn't have beat yet, tanks take damage. Like, you guys can absorb a lot of damage. Rhine, so long as you have armor, let them shoot you. Once you're out of armor, you hold your shield up and you let your supports heal you. Hog, you have your vape if, like, they push you too hard. So, like, go off, try to frag, whatever. Come back as low health as you think you can get away with, and let your supports heal you up. And then your Lucio can build his beat super fast. Your Ana can have nano every single fight. Like,
Right.
and in fact, like, just as a general guideline, Ryan, you should not be holding shield while you have armor. You're not a shield.
Okay.
You're not a shield bot. You can stand behind cover if you don't want to take the damage for what, like, if your supports have their ults or whatever. But if you have armor health, you don't really need to be using your shield yet. Unless, exception to this, you have a very specific reason. You can shield ults or like major cooldowns, like shield and Onanate or something, that's great. Or you have a DPS or a support that wants to take some shots for free, hold your shield for them. That's totally fine. But you're doing it because you choose to, for a very specific reason. You're not just shield botting a bunch of spam so your team can spam randomly. But like, if your Ana is a decent enough shot, you can let your Ana take a duel with the enemy Widow. Just hold shield for your Ana. She duels the Widow. Widow has to back off or is dumb and dies to an Ana. Like, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay.
I think this fight is... I think you guys will win this anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. Whole Hog is also a pretty good counter to Nanoblade.
Yeah, you just yeet the Genji away.
Exactly. The last time I tried to do this, I yeeted the Genji into my team on accident, so you want to be careful you don't do that. But otherwise, yeah.
You also can bait out deflect and make him do less damage. Who was touching? Yeah, okay, they won that game, for sure.
Victory.
So, just to give you, like, some ideas, like, for as your mechanics increase, you don't ever want to be crossing open space if you can avoid it. Like, right now no one can kill you, but this is how you avoid getting surprised, is to just always be hugging corners. But because you can wall ride and you're super mobile, I like peeking these windows. Like, catch a wall, peek up, fire, drop down, fire, drop down. I'm just literally jumping on the side of the wall here, and kind of, it's called shoulder peeking when you, like, do this, or jiggle peeking when you, like, peek at your rate of fire. Like that. And you're kind of doing the same thing here. Jump up, fire, down. And it's very safe, and you're spamming at kind of a better angle here than just straight on. And also, like, if your team is spamming, then fire is coming from multiple directions. So, like, even if they run left or right or whatever, maybe some of it hits them anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking for places like that. Where is it? This map. This is really cheeky, but I really like it. So, ignore what's going on right now, whatever. Let's say, like, teams normally try to hold this choke, right? But once you have given up this choke and you guys are backing up to bridge, or, like, wherever you're going to back up, probably bridge would be best, but anyway. Lucio, you hop up on these walls, you can take, like, these corners here, whatever. You can go, like, all the way up here, and be riding all the way around this side, both sides of this, and they don't see you. They probably don't even hear you because you're high up. Your team is no longer in your aura. Your aura is a sphere. It is a perfect sphere, but you're probably too high up here to really be helping them. But you just wait, and then you drop from above and boop somebody into the pit, and then away you go.
Okay.
I love this spot. Nobody sees you. You're just high up in the skybox.
So he's a very sneaky boy.
Yeah, exactly.
He just kind of hides up there until there's an opportunity to attack, like a bird.
And while we're here, one of my favorite Reddit plays when you get your mechanics up a little bit. This one's actually a lot easier, so you should be able to do this one fairly soon. You amp speed out of spawn, and as your team's running through the choke, you split and you go this way, and you just sort of drop off the wall, catch these walls, ride up, and get here, and get here
Oh.
and wait. And if they have speed and went through choke, you'll get there at about the same time somebody gets right here. If they don't have speed, you'll get there early, so you hide. They run to take the bridge, you get a free boop off the side.
I see.
If they
Sorry.
push, and like if they try to push you here, you're Lucio, so you just speed around and out. However, you got to get out. You don't want to like stick around here unless your team's coming up with you, but like that's also the other thing is if you guys are planning on taking the bridge anyway, then you guys start pushing up here. Lucio probably just got a kill. If he didn't, you just walk over here and now you're with your team. Easy.
Nice. Okay.
There are a lot of plays like that in a lot of maps, and looking for those opportunities is great. Just like I said earlier, speed your team first, then split and make your play. Yeah. Cool. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, it was actually very, very helpful. Sorry, I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm just trying to figure out how to make my message shorter. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.